Okay, hello, this is Dr. James, and today I'm going to talk about how to fix this Prius, Toyota Prius. Let's take a look here. P3016 error, and it's also accompanied with the P0A80 error, which is the famous error for the battery pack failing. Here we got our battery pack here. And, well, yeah, I was driving it, and I've already fixed the problem once with the P0A80, and I'll probably put a link to that video showing how to take the battery pack all the way apart. And I'm doing the same thing again. So let's troubleshoot this thing and see how to fix this. Okay, very cool. Okay, hello, this is Dr. James, and we are working on the Prius again. I was driving around. I made one video already. I replaced a bad cell in our hybrid battery. Driving around today, came up to the triangle of death came on. The P0A80 error code was on the computer, and I came up to the stoplight, and the car was losing all power. I had to rev it up just to get it back home. I hope I didn't damage anything. It's like the battery just completely died or something, and it was just running on the gasoline engine, and it didn't want to do that too well or something. I'm not sure what the deal is, but it seems a little bit different than before, because before I was able to drive it for a little while even with the light on, and it didn't give me a problem like that. So let's take her apart and look at it and see what's going on here. Okay, let's take a look here. We have the triangle of death here again, and if we hook up our, let me just get this hooked up. Okay, we got our OBDII computer hooked up, and I'm getting this error message again, P0A80, and it says replace hybrid battery. Now, I made a previous video where I replaced one of the bad cells in the battery, and I don't know, let's take a look. I'm going to disassemble this and try to get into the battery again and see what the problem is this time, because that is no good. Okay. Also, that fan is coming on. It always seems to have that battery fan running when the battery's having a problem. So let's see what's going to take a look at the battery. We'll have to pull it apart and see what we're going to do. Okay, it's always so much fun taking this thing apart. I'm taking all the nuts and bolts out that hold this battery together. I'm going to take these off next, and try to get inside the battery and look at the cells. Maybe a bad cell again, I don't know. And have to disassemble pretty much the whole back end of the car to get into there. What a mess, huh? Always a fun way to spend your Sunday. Okay, so let's get this disassembled here. I'm going to disassemble this part up here now, because that needs to be all come off before I can get the battery and pull it out, and we'll see. Okay, here's the view from the back. I got all this junk up here undone, except for I didn't undo the high voltage wires to the car. Sometimes I can get away with not doing those. And let's just pull this battery cover off of here. We'll take a look inside, and there is our battery. And maybe I'll try measuring the cells to see if there's a bad cell or something. Okay, this is really annoying. Okay, we have our digital voltmeter hooked up here, and I have it across cell I have labeled as 17. And previously I had replaced this cell because they seemed to fail in the middle, which would have been the previous 15. I took one from the end and put it in the middle because I'm putting my new battery out here, and it takes a lot more work because you have to work in from this way if you got to replace the battery. So I knew that this one was a good one from the end. So it's not the one that I replaced before, because this is 27. So 17 is reading a little bit low. And if we look at the adjacent battery next to that one, let's see, which would be this one. This is the normal voltage of most of the batteries, is around 8. Now, it seemed like when I had a problem before, the battery that was having a problem that I replaced was around 6 some volts. and I never had a loss of power when I was driving like I experienced with this guy. But I checked all the rest of the batteries, and all of them are 8 except for this one, which is at 7. And maybe I'll just try resetting the air. And remember, when you work on the battery, you always want to take out the circuit breaker here that comes out of here. And I might stick that one back in and reset the air and try driving this a little bit and see if that power failure happens again. Okay. Okay, I guess there was a second error code on here, P3016, and I'll have to look that up and see what that is. Maybe I'll do that before I reset the errors. Okay, this is my OBDII plugged into the car. Okay, let's see what 3016 is. Okay, so I looked up that fault, and the internet says that it is high internal resistance, so maybe pins are bent, corroded, or it said it could be a faulty ECU in the battery. So some kind of problem where the voltage, the internal resistance, is too high, which I assume if you try to draw a current, the voltage will drop because the internal resistance is very high. I don't know. Let me try resetting it. I'll drive it a little bit and see if it causes the same problem again. And then I'll try to look through the battery a little bit more closely, because it's a little bit strange. Before, the voltage on, there is a cell that's a little bit low, and that was a problem last time. But it was, before it was about 6 volts. This is 7, and it's having a lot worse problem now. Maybe one of the connectors, when I reassembled it, or contacts or something, has come loose. So maybe go through and try to tighten up everything and check things. Make sure that there's not a loose connection or something, some kind of problem, pin bent, something's corroded. Hopefully it's not the ECU, because that sounds like an expensive fix. But okay, let's take a look here. Okay, so again, I have my OBD connected to the car through the port there, and I'm just going to hit erase codes. Okay, and enter. Yes. And as soon as I do that, the fan goes off, the triangle goes off, and let me try running this car. Put it in reverse and see if our problem comes back. Maybe I should put my seatbelt on too. Okay. Okay, well, the battery seems to be operating normally so far. Okay, I'll just drive it around here. I'm a little bit scared to drive it too far. Now, well, when you want it to act up, it doesn't. I don't know. I've been driving it for about 5 minutes, and the triangle of death just came on again, and the fans are coming on in the back. Yikes. Okay, maybe I better take her back home, take a look at the OBD codes, and see what is going on here. Okay, it looks like we have our P0A80 code back, and the 3016 code, so it's not going away. Okay, I'll have to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so this is a brand new problem, and if I was to guess, maybe I'll try tightening up all these lugs on the batteries. See, there's what the lugs are. And it's possible if this thing was bouncing up and down and the lugs weren't tight, maybe it's not making good connection, because it's got to make a circuit all the way through here. It goes plus to minus, plus, minus to plus, so on and so forth. So every single one of these contacts has got to be good. And the voltage comes out here, and this is probably where the ECU is. And make sure those are tightened up as well. Probably should take out the circuit breaker while I'm working on it. I'm just going to go through and retighten these things, make sure everything's tightened up. Oh, come on. Okay. Make sure the problem in the circuit is not here, if there is a problem in the circuit. Okay, I did have a couple that were a little bit loose. Well, not super tight. Oh gosh. Okay, anyway, let me go through and tighten all these up and see if maybe I'll reset the error up there and try running it again and see if it comes back, and keep on trying different things, see if I can get the error to go away. Okay. Holy crap, that was not good. I got my wrench across the batteries and it just welded it to there. I had to knock it off. Wow, I hope I didn't wreck the batteries. Holy crap. Wow, the wrench is hot. I just had sparks everywhere. Okay, it looks like the voltage dropped about 0.3 of a volt in this section where I shorted out the batteries. Oh god. I hope things are okay. Ooh, that's down to 6 volts. That was the one that was questionable before. 6.5. 7. Oh gosh. That was not good. And I left it on there for a second because I couldn't knock it off. It like welded itself right to the contacts. Wow. Let me take a look over there and see what the damage looks like. Oh gosh. Ooh. Yeah, see, you can see right there part of the let me get the light on here. Looks like the wrench welded just melted the wrench right off. Yeah. And where's the other contact? Yeah, do not do that. Right there. That's where it was, had the socket on it. Holy cow. Okay, let's see, I put it in reverse. Erase the code, so far so good. The battery seems to be working still. And I'm going to test drive it around a little bit. The cells are probably not charged evenly anymore because of that fiasco. And, oops, hopefully I can get those bolts off because one of them melted. That could be a problem. Anyway, let's check this out. Okay, it looks like our dreaded code has come back. I drove it around to the triangle, came on, and there's our code. No good. So tightening those bolts didn't seem to fix the problem. Okay, so I retightened all the screws on this side and on that side, all the lugs for the battery, and tried to fix my arcing thing that I did. And that did not seem to fix the problem. So I keep on resetting the computer up there and test driving it, and the death of triangle death keeps on coming up. So I figure maybe I'll just try reseating all these plugs here, because they said maybe it could be rust on the contacts. So try to take them out and reseat them, wiggle them, I don't know. Got lots of plugs here, about 4 of them. Okay, might need a screwdriver to get that one out. Anyway, I'll try reseating all those and fiddling around with electronics to see if there's any places where there's corrosion or loose circuit or something, and see if I can figure out how to fix this. Okay, just testing our battery again because I accidentally discharged it with my wrench. There was sparks and it just welded it on there, and I had to knock it off because it wouldn't come off. There we go. Anyway, so here's our cell that was a little bit low before, number 17. And it's come up a little bit, I think. All the cells around it now, which were discharged. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's still the same one. Let's do a different cell. Okay, 17. Okay, that's 17. So we go to the cells around it. and they've pretty much all recovered. 8.19. I guess it's possible it could be just this cell, number 17, is a little bit low. Maybe that's having a lot of resistance internally. I could try replacing that one and see if that solves the problem, because it is lower. I might try driving it a little bit more to see if that voltage comes back up, because cycling these, driving and then deaccelerating and charging the battery seem to have charged all the cells around here, because I discharged the wrench across about this much of the battery, and see all those are back up to 8 volts again. So maybe I'll test drive it a few more times, and I've tried unplugging and replugging all of these plugs over here, and we'll test that to see if that helped. But I'm kind of a little dubious about the whole thing. I'm thinking the next thing I might try to do is replace number 17, because it is a weak cell, and we could put a better cell in there maybe. Maybe that will fix the problem. Okay, good news. I reseated all those plugs back there, the different sockets and everything else. There's a whole bunch of them inside the battery. And I've been cruising around at fairly high speed, and it has not given me an error yet. Been trying to do some acceleration, looking at the battery is suspiciously low though. I better check to see if there's something wrong with that, but it does seem a little bit low, but it has not given me an error yet. And well, we'll test it out a little bit further, and I guess if it doesn't give us any more problems, maybe just reseating all those little sockets on the battery helped. There's a bunch of little plugs all over the place, more than those 3. There's single wire plugs also, and I just reseated everything, and maybe that was the problem. Maybe there's corrosion on one of those plugs. I was just sitting here, and the triangle of death came on again, and it sounded like the relays kicked out. It said main on the battery. Let's see if we can make it home. Okay. Okay, we still seem to have power on the car. And I'll have to test the error codes to see what that is, but I suspect I know what it is. Anyway. Okay, we got our computer up, and let's take a look. It looks like the other code with the P3016 or whatever is not there anymore. The only code that's coming up right now is the P0A80, and maybe that's for the cell that's a little bit low. I'll have to check that again. But it looks like we may have solved that other problem, P3016 or something, whatever it was, the high resistance in the network. So maybe plugging and unplugging all those plugs helped. Okay, so plugging and unplugging the connectors didn't seem to help. So I'm going to try to change that cell that's a little bit low, number 17. So I've been undoing the screws and getting ready to take this battery apart so I can replace that cell. I did another video where I replaced the cell, and that fixed the P0A80 error. But we're getting both the P0A80 error and the P3016, I believe. That's the other error. And maybe that's also caused by the bad cell. So we'll try replacing. It's number 17, I believe, now is low. And I have a few extra cells, so we'll see what we can do. Okay? Very cool. Okay, so here I bought some used batteries, and I bought 2 of these. And let's see, this is 7.4 volts. Okay? Similar to the other ones. And if we take a look at our cell that I think is bad, which is number 17. I'll clip the leads up to that one. Let's see. Okay. 6.78 volts. And the cells around it are higher because they're charging normally. 8 volts. Okay. So I think what I did last time is I hate to have to go into the middle of the pack, so I took one from the end that I knew was good and replaced it with the one in the middle, and I put the new one on the outside, so if I have to replace that one, it will be easier to get to, because you have to basically undo the battery, one battery at a time going inward. So I got to go about halfway into the stack. And for some reason, the ones in the middle, I think they get hotter or something, are the ones that tend to fail first. So the 17 is kind of in the middle here. Okay, so I got to pull that one out, start pulling these batteries apart like so. Okay, I'm taking them apart, and you have to be careful. There are some thermocouples underneath, so you have to be careful when you get to those and unplug them. Okay. Anyway, very cool, huh? Okay, anyway, I've been pulling these apart, and here's 18. I've been leaving the ones with the thermocouple in place. And here is our bad cell number 17. We'll pull that guy out and set him aside. Okay. And there we go. And I'll put a new cell. I'm going to change the cell order around a little bit. Put a new cell in for 17. Okay, I got the new cell in place, and the new cell I put here. These are my two new cells that I put in. That was from the last time. This is the new one. And I replaced 17 with 25, so I brought this one into there and put the new cell out here. Since they're new cells, I want to keep them out toward the edge so they're easier to replace if I have to. And I don't know, got it all hooked up again, and maybe we'll give it a try, see if this fixed the problem or not. Should be interesting. Okay, very cool, huh? Okay, here we go. We'll see if we get turns on and see if the battery works after all that. Okay, looks like we went into reverse. So it looks like our battery is at least working. And I'll take her for a spin here and run her around, see if changing that cell fixed the problem or not. Very cool, huh? Been driving this car around for quite a bit, and I have not had any red triangles of death yet, so I think maybe this fixed both problems, the P0A80 and the P3016. Probably the high resistance was due to one of the cells starting to go bad. So anyway, hope this helps you out. This is Dr. James, and thanks for watching.